Assassin's Creed Shadows Hideouts is absolutely something I'm enjoying more and more of. It definitely takes a bit of a grind though to decorate it the way you want, as you're going to need a lot of resources. But more than that, it's obviously got practical uses, and I'm going to give you an ultimate guide today on getting the most out of your hideout. So early on in the quest, you'll have the options go and talk to Tamiko, and this is obviously the start. So do this as soon as you can. So the first main building, you don't have a choice of where it's placed. You can't move it afterwards either. Obviously you've got the table where you can go and choose what else to start building, but there's actually options all around inside your hideout where you can do this too. There's lots of things you can do to customise and decorate, but this does take a bit of a grind. There's plenty of rewards that you can pick up in terms of decor, either buying it from merchants directly or earning it as rewards. A lot of the obviously gold spots that you'll find across castles and places, points of interest, they will reward stuff like this, as well as resources. But I've never really been that much into decorating, not at least yet anyway, until I get some more money to go and buy stuff. What I really care about is what's going to benefit me. What is the best buildings to go and unlock first? You do start off with a stable as well, so it's definitely worth taking a look at that. And when you click on it, you'll see there's a few icons. You can upgrade them to certain levels too, and they'll give you more benefits. At level 1 of your stables, you'll simply be able to tag stockpiles, basically smuggle gear that you find in castles and more, and your scouts will deliver it to the stable's chest at the end of a season. Upgrade 2 reduces that to only 1 scout, and I definitely recommend using that for sure. And upgrade 3 isn't maybe as good. It does give you basically 20% more resources, but I would say you're probably better off spending some of your actual stuff on other buildings. If the item's got a diamond on it, then yes, you can only have one of them buildings in, and nearly every building will contribute to your settlement score, increasing how many unlocks you can then get. Kakurega is definitely something you want to pick up. I would say almost as good as the forge, because this is how you're going to build up your resources to upgrade your settlement super quick. It's also how you get your scouts to go ahead and tag some of the stockpiles and for other uses. You'll find more of the Kakuregas out in the world, and they basically act like safe houses. You can do all the things that you can do at the Kakurega at your hideout that you can find here. They do cost 800 coins to go ahead and unlock though. So choose carefully. If it's a tiny little town and there's already a fast travel point really close by, do you really need it? Otherwise, these can be essential once you start exploring places like Kyoto, which is huge and there's not maybe as many easy fast travel points. Best thing about these as well is once you've come across one and it's revealed on the map, you don't actually have to go to it to unlock it, so you can spend the coins and then just fast travel to it immediately. When inside, you've got the browsing contracts, and this is how you're going to upgrade your settlement super quick, as these give some of the best rewards in terms of the resources. There's different missions, some will give you lots of experience and lots of coins, but it's the steel supplies that you're really after. The assassinate the leader is good for when you want to upgrade a bunch of gear. But for sure, steel supplies, you can activate a bunch of these, and these are going to definitely help you get more and more resources. Each Kakurega that you activate should have some of these missions in and around it as well, although you may have to wait for the seasons to replen if you do go through them all. They're clearly marked on the map, and yeah, there should be a bunch obviously that you can go and explore for that region. There'll be small little bandit hideouts where you'll have to take on a number of guards, or you can try the stealth approach, but I honestly found it was just much quicker and easier just to go ham with Yasuke. So obviously the boxes are the main loot, and you can see how many crops and wood I got there, and they're the two big components alongside minerals that you'll need to go ahead and upgrade your settlement. You will find some loose supplies laying around these places as well, so it's definitely worth checking every nook. So obviously you come across these places naturally, yes, you can go in there and loot some of that stuff for sure, but I do believe you might only get like the big bonus amounts if you've gone ahead and taken one of these bounties effectively. Or at the very least, you'll be missing out on the experience. And honestly, I only did maybe 3 or 4 of these types of events, and I had more than enough to go ahead and buy and upgrade a whole bunch of buildings. It's so much better than trying to find them small little huts that you've got in lots of the castles that'll have some of these resources in, as well as being able to tag some of it for your scouts. So once you've unlocked maybe a second region, just spend some time going in between back and forth with the Kakuregas and then starting up some of these actual quests. This is the fastest and best way I've found to get all these resources to make your settlement as good as it can be. The forge is obviously important to go ahead and upgrade your gear, so it's definitely one of them that you should buy first. In fact, I don't think you get given much choice, it pretty much tells you as part of the story. Here you can upgrade your equipment to the current level that you're at, or go ahead and dismantle. The materials you need for your gear is very different from the materials you need for your settlement, and you'll generally pick up a bunch of stuff like the silk and some of the iron dust or whatever when you're exploring lots of the castles, so make sure you investigate obviously the golden circles. You won't be able to apply any buffs to your gear though until you've gone and upgraded your forge to level 2. Uncommon and rare might come with a certain extra buff, whereas normal equipment won't have any. I've got to say, I think this system of upgrading has probably been the best I've seen in Assassin's Creed. You can customise and transmogrify pretty much everything. You can swap out things like the handle, the blade, the hilt, really make your armour set or weapon set exactly how you want it. And it's all for free, no messing around, no costs. And it's not that expensive to go ahead and upgrade your gear either. You can upgrade straight away to the correct level if something's really low but suddenly you found a use for it. Jumping like 7 or 8 levels, it only cost me a couple of 100 coins. Some things you'll need certain other resources to upgrade, like trinkets. You're going to need silk. So especially look out for some of the port traders that you come across, as they'll have a big selection of every resource you need, whether it's for your hideouts or for crafting. I wouldn't necessarily recommend spending all your money on this because I think it's easy enough to pick up the resources, but if you're desperate for something and you just want a quick 100 of something, then yeah, go ahead and get one from these guys. Any major town near the water, then you will find one. To apply your engravings to your weapons, as I might mentioned, you do need to get forged to level 2, which means you can upgrade your gear to level 40. So you're sitting at like level 12, what do I need to upgrade to level 40 right now? Well, it is about these engravings. You won't have a huge amount unless you've gone and explored every single kind of side quest and area, because this is where you can pick up some of these. And you might be able to buy some from some of the traders also. But there's still enough that you can apply and get a boost. You can also swap them in and out. So you don't have to panic about putting a buff on a weapon and then not being able to swap it or change it later. And obviously this makes the difference between your stock weapons and then the different rarities, and legendary being the best. And there's all sorts here. This probably needs another guide, to be honest. I'll go deeper on it. But yeah, there's lots of things that can build up affliction, critical hits, give you more health. And all it costs is some of your coins to go ahead and swap them or buy them for your weapon. The third level maybe not needed as much unless you start picking up a good supply of legendary gear, since it will take you a while to get through the game before you get to that point, obviously. And so what's the point in unlocking something where it's like levels 40 to 60? Although if you have come across a legendary engraving, it will mean that you can apply it to legendary gear. After that, I would absolutely place down a terror, as this is going to give you a 10% increase in experience. It does only unlock at a certain level, so you've basically got to place more buildings down till you reach it. Pretty much I had the forge, the Kakurega, obviously, and then I think I added the study, and that gave me the levels I needed. Speaking of levels, you do get bonuses every time you level up. At level 2, you'll get scouts can bring back extra mon at season end. Level 3, increase the shrine boom duration by 15 minutes. Level 4, the available scouts will bring back hideout resources at season end. And then you can see the rest of the upgrades, reducing engraving costs at 20%, available scouts will bring crafting materials at season end. Eventually that means they can also bring back gear, and then even more crafting stuff will get rewarded while taking care of some of the stockpiles, as well as reducing the cost of upgrading stuff at the forge and being able to refill your health and adrenaline and Kakurega's safe house and the hideout. So unlike Assassin's Creed Valhalla, where I felt there wasn't massive need to go ahead and upgrade certain things, you do get tangible rewards and a lot of stuff for going ahead. The study's also good for giving you extra scouts. Although a big warning here, the game really explicitly says to you there's an easier option where you can go back to the old way of playing Assassin's Creed, where it shows the marker of your target as soon as you picked up that quest. The whole point of Shadows is you use the League and you use your scouts to go and get information about their whereabouts to help track them down. So for the option to make it simplified is in the gameplay menus, and it does mean that you'll disable certain achievements. What the game doesn't really tell you is that when doing so, I don't think it actually fixes or corrects it back to how it's meant to be. So it's effectively a one-time use, for me at least anyway. I tried this on because obviously I need to go around a bit quicker, and yeah, judge me all you want. And afterwards, when I turned it back off, it wouldn't actually allow me to utilise the scouts anymore in this way. So it's up to you how much mileage you get from this and whether or not you care about achievements. It could absolutely be detracting from the gameplay, as you're seeing right here. This is what you're meant to do. Go and look for one of your targets, Choose the exclamation mark and it'll give you details about what you need to know. You can go ahead and use them to explore other places too, like I set one on this obviously eagle point here and it revealed the location of 2 other things next to it. But yeah, this is a major use of the scouts and you will be kind of cutting off some of this gameplay if you choose the easy option. I don't know, maybe I just revealed all the info I could, but yeah, for love nor money, even when I started exploring another region, it wouldn't give me the option to send the scouts, which was kind of annoying because some places it would sure show location of my target, but not any information around it. Anyhow, back to the study. Upgrading it to tier 2 gets you an additional scout, and tier 3 you get another scout, but you also reduce the search zone to 60%. Scouts can be refilled at Kakuregas as well as certain NPCs that you help. They give you like a tip on maybe a secret location to go and find something, or they can just give you a direct increase in your refill of scouts. Otherwise your scouts won't refill completely until a new season begins. Okay, moving on. Some buildings won't unlock until you've got them from, as a reward, NPCs, and others are locked behind what level your whole settlement is. The tea room and the sake room, they pretty much give the same buffs, 20% extra ration efficiency, so I wouldn't say it's the most important thing. What you do need if you want to use your allies, basically extra people to help you in combat, is the dojo. Again, you won't be able to maybe unlock the dojo until you've met a certain character who becomes part of the league. Keep following Tomiko's missions and eventually you will come across her. Once they're recruited by completing their mission, then you can go ahead and unlock and buy and place the dojo. Depending on your playstyle, absolutely unlock it before some of the other stuff I mentioned so that you get access to the ally, but I would still say the other stuff's more important. You can summon them in and they'll basically come and fight some of the enemies for you. You can then go and invest in them further by upgrading the dojo and individuals themselves to give them extra abilities and to effectively get stronger. Each ally that you come across does have kind of a mission to complete before you can add them to your roster, and then you can choose which ones you want by going to the dojo, heading over to this board. You can see me actually failing to see it the first time I stepped into the dojo. It's not that obvious, but you should find it on one of the walls, manage allies. Costs quite a fair bit of coin to go ahead and upgrade, but definitely worth it if you want to have a little bit of extra help. And like I said, you will meet more allies to add to it. Some of the abilities though, clearly you won't be able to unlock until you get the dojo to level 3. So you can see I'm already up to level 6, a bunch more buildings have now opened up. Again, some of these you won't be able to get until completing side quests, but there are things like the gallery, which are good for quick switching different gear sets for different occasions. The Nando's kind of not a great one, it just reduces the cost in the Kakurega for replenishing your scouts. Then you've got the ginger, said it wrong probably, but that is where you can obviously get a booster for shrine bonuses, so you get an increase by 20%. And beyond that, you've got small, medium and large rooms to add. They'll definitely increase the level, but they won't necessarily give you any more buffs. So I've more or less gone through the order that I think you should unlock some of that stuff. It always depends on your playstyle and what you've been going for more. You've been playing through the story, ignoring a lot of the pickups for the upgrade materials, then yeah, you might not necessarily be concentrated, you just might want to focus on upgrading your gear. But taking some time to spend early doing this will really help you instead. You will have so much more access to more abilities. By hour 15 of the game, I was up to level 6. And I reckon I could have got there way quicker if I'd started concentrating on upgrading the settlements a bit quicker. So concentrate on the quests that unlock the buildings you want, go and do the special bounties from the hideouts that you find in and around each region, and make sure you pick the ones that gives you the most hideout resources. I think definitely there's room to make these places look your own. There are kind of limits though with certain things where you can place some of the benches that'll have some of like the ornaments that you can buy. And yes, of course, Ubisoft have added a bunch of the stuff that you can buy direct for real money if you want to go ahead and speed up your procurement. But in its form, I love it. You can delete stuff, it doesn't cost anything. You can move stuff around, adjust, change whatever you want. Add paths, add bushes, add bamboo fences and lots more. So I reckon it'd be really cool to see what people can come up with. I, on the other hand, am pretty functional. I just plonked it down as close as I could so I wouldn't have to walk anywhere. And yeah, only added a tiny bit of decor. That's because none of the decor contributes to the level, so it's purely just cosmetic. So there we go, hopefully that's been useful. If it has, please leave a like. Make sure you subscribe for more Assassin's Creed Shadows gameplay and guides coming. And I'll see you ratbags soon.